everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the SCAR Initiative. I'm very excited to have a special guest with me here today, Maria. She has a very compelling story, and I'm going to hand it over to Maria right from the beginning because I really want her to get started with telling us about this SCAR story that she has because I know it's going to be helping thousands of people. So, Maria, let's go ahead and get started. So, can you tell us a bit about the scar that you've chosen to highlight and why this scar is so significant to you?
Yes. Um, I decided to share about my experience with my military sexual assault. And it happened at a time when we had my company and I had just returned back from the Iraq War. Actually, the first group that went out there. So we came back, and it was 2005, and we were getting back to go to another mission back to Iraq. And so a lot of us soldiers, when I was in the army, we got together at this one male soldiers barracks and had a party. So we were celebrating and getting ready to go back again to Iraq. And everybody was drinking, including myself. And there was a time when I was left alone. Everybody had left, and I was left alone with the soldier whose room it was. And things happened, and I did consent to have, sex with him. But then almost at the end, he decided to do something that I didn't want to do, and I didn't feel comfortable. And he got rough with me, and he started to, to do what he wanted to do with me. And I remember I got so angry. I fought him off, and I quickly got dressed as much as I could, and I ran to the door, and he blocked the door, tried to stop me from leaving, and I still fought him off. I guess I was like really angry that I was able to push him away, and I was able to leave the room. And I just felt really ashamed and scared, and I didn't know how to process everything that had happened to me. It got to the point where days passed, and I was still depressed about it, and I was debating back and forth. Should I tell somebody? Should I not? Because I had heard other stories of other women who had been through what I had been through, and they didn't receive any support from their chain of command, and just and then I knew that if I reported it, that he would be exposed, but that they would also, pry into my private and personal life. But then I got to the point where, I need help. And I did go to a local mental health clinic, and I explained to them what was going on. And they reported it to my chain of command. From then on, that he was talked to, and the MPs came, and then they took him so he could make his statement. From then on, it went downwards because he said that it was consensual. It was a he said, she said situation. Then to fast forward it, they started the process to discharge both of us. And in that time, I heard them talking about it. Like there were some soldiers who were saying, well, why did he do that? And, I could have taken him off post to a hooker, a prostitute, and I would hear comments, and I would boil inside, with anger because during formation, sometimes he was standing like right behind me. And I had to deal with that. And then his room was right next to mine. The wall, he was the wall. There was a wall separating us, and I couldn't feel safe. I didn't sleep well at night. Then, then I heard that he got discharged also, but they were trying to discharge me with a less than honorable discharge. At that point, I felt like I needed outside help from a politician.
Mhm.
So I reached out to a local senator from Arizona because that was my home state, who he was also a veteran. He had been a POW, and I don't know if I should mention his name, but many of you are familiar. He passed away maybe 3, 4 years ago, or
Wow.
5 years ago.
Mhm.
And I wrote him a letter, and I explained to him what was going on, what happened to me, and how my chain of command was treating me,
Mhm.
and that they were trying to get me out with a less than honorable discharge, and I didn't deserve that. And that letter did help because I don't know if it was him or his staff, but they contacted my chain of command, and they uh, they expedited the process of discharging me with my medical honorable discharge. So, as you can imagine, I went through something traumatic. Then
Mhm.
my chain of command has not supported me, and they're talking about me in negative and hurtful ways. So I felt like victimized all over again. But then I had to defend myself in a way, that was to me, I felt like, well, they're supposed to be protecting me. I'm in the U.S. Army. We're better than police officers because they're there to protect and to serve. I said we're supposed to be a little bit better than that. And it was sad that I had to go to that extreme to contact someone outside, a politician,
Right.
but his power and authority overruled what they were trying to do to me with as far as my honorable medical discharge. And on May 5th, 2005, I ended my contract with the U.S. Army, and I drove off of that post, and with looking back at it with my rear mirror and thanking God that
Mhm.
so far, I had made, another victory.
Yeah.
And so I drove home from Kansas to Arizona.
Wow. Wow. And how long from the time that the assault happened to the time you were discharged, what was that span of time? About how long?
It happened in January 2005, and I didn't get discharged till, I just mentioned May 5th, 2005. So it was complete agony from those months on. Uh, I had I kid you not, I had a whole team of mental health professionals, which was good.
Yeah.
I had I had a psychiatrist, a psychologist, um, a counselor who was a social worker.
Mhm.
And then I had this lady, they were all females, thank God. Then I had this lady that she was connected, she was from off post, but she was
Mhm.
connected to helping women with my situation on post. And she had a spiritual background as a woman of God, a Christian.
Yeah.
And she helped me out a lot because I'm a believer too, and I have, believe in higher power, and I have faith. And she was able to kind of like slowly bring my mind back to a place where it could be brought back to peace. It's just a little slice, I still a lot for me to endure and to go through and to get to a point where I could be, emotionally healthy. That took years.
Sure.
But I thank God for those ladies that, that were in my life at that time when I was suffering, and I
Mhm.
didn't get any support from my chain of command.
My gosh. Do you see a lot of similarities in the Me Too movement and what you experienced?
Yes, I do. I know that, well, he was the same rank as I was. We were, well,
Mhm.
before, but I had heard other stories about women who, were sexually assaulted by their superiors or higher ranking, and stories of how they got intimidated and were, even if they pressed charges, they had to, they were intimidated to drop the charges, and
Right.
stories like that I had heard, so
Yeah.
everybody's story is a little bit, it's the same, but then again, it's different,
Sure.
different experience.
That is just it's so angering to hear that a lot of women before we started recording the session, I was telling you about the women's retreat that I went on. And during conversation at the table one day during dinner, we were just talking, and a lot of the ladies had the same um, response. Their chain of command or people that they were connected with said, don't say anything, just keep your mouth shut, don't say anything, you don't want to ruin your career. And this was in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Was that the same for you? Was that the advice that you were given?
Yes, as a matter of fact, when it went through CID and I had to make a choice of either to walk away, get my discharge and walk away, or stay and fight it legally through
Mm.
JAG. And basically, one of the lawyers told me that I would be put on the stand and I would have to talk about my whole experience all over again. They asked me, well, I don't know if you want to go through that all over again. And they did advise me that my personal and sexual life would be also put out there, that I would be victimized all over again. And so I chose to just leave because I didn't want to go through that all over again, because I didn't want them prying into my personal life.
Sure.
My sex life is private, just like, everybody else's. And I didn't want to go through that.
I can absolutely understand and empathize completely with that has nothing to do with this situation. What he did was wrong, and anything that we've ever done in the past is completely irrelevant to what somebody else has done. How did the situation differ for the man? Did you witness anything that just felt completely unfair compared to be you as the victim and you weren't even taken care of, but he just seemed to everything was fine with him?
I believe they sided more with him because he said it was consensual, um, and I really don't know too much. I didn't investigate from others, like if they had talked to him. At that point, I became kind of distant from everybody in my company.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't have too much to say about that. But I believe that I was the one that I believe I was the one that was treated the worst in the whole entire situation. Even though he did get discharged too, that's what I heard.
Mm-hmm. But the focus is you were not treated as you should have as a victim. And I can imagine that that is what hurts the most in all of this, is that you weren't treated with the support that you needed and the resources. And thank God that you did have those women in your life who were there for you during this time. So how did the scars impact you either physically or mentally then versus now?
Oh, yes. I got into a really dark side. I would imagine doing horrible things to him. That's how bad my mind got.
Right.
And I did express that to my counselor. And when I would tell her that, she would just, make this face like,
Mhm.
scared, a scared look.
Sure, sure.
And she had me journal on my feelings. So I did. And a lot of it was very violent things that I wanted to do to him. And my weapon was taken away from me because of that, because I expressed that to my psychologist. And that's another reason why they got me out of there faster
Mm.
too. I believe that even though it was like from January to May, if I hadn't, I believe if my mind hadn't been that in that state, maybe it would have taken longer.
Mhm.
I'm like, but I did go through a lot in my mind, and I had a lot of anger, a lot of rage. I had a lot of violent thoughts. And it was a side of me that I had never seen in my whole life ever, and it took a long time for my mind to just disperse all those thoughts and wean down all those negative feelings that I had at that time.
Absolutely. And it seems to me that that would be a totally normal reaction. Somebody is violating you. So, of course, we want some kind of revenge. Our mind just goes there. They stole something from us that can never be replaced. So, how are you now? Where is your mental and your physical health now?
Now I'm able to, even though I have flashbacks and triggers, I'm able to manage them.
Mhm.
It took a lot, many years of counseling, one-on-one counseling, group counseling, or groups with veteran, women with the VA system, or the Veteran Center, because the Veteran Center is available to war veterans. There was a lot of, when I first got discharged in 2005, there weren't that many programs available to women. So I had to wait like three, maybe 3 years or so, four,
Mhm.
before any of that could ever be established, because this is the first time in history that there were more women um, in the military and more women veterans. So there's a need out there. And I would always voice that need to those in the VA health system. And it took a while, but finally, we have some support out here, once we get out of our military service. I
Definitely.
and I also participated in several veteran retreats that were to help talk about PTSD, and
Mhm.
given tools like mindfulness and breathing, and just be able to have the platform to share our story, and we can talk about as much as we want to, or just be there support for others or listen to other stories.
Right.
I went through a lot of spiritual healing as well. I had to heal my spirit
Mhm.
because my mind was, at a different place than where it should be. And so there was a lot of spiritual healing that I did as far as my faith is concerned.
Wow. And that's the whole point of the SCAR initiative, is to talk about this journey, because that's what it is. And it's all these traumas that we've experienced can at any point come back through flashbacks, or something can be triggering, and it is a journey. Every day is a journey and a learning experience. Can you tell us about the healing journey that you've encountered with your scar?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked about that because this is an important part.
Sure.
Yes, as I mentioned, I went through years of counseling, one-on-one, groups with other women. I participated in this one a retreat. It's called Healing of Memories, and it's available to veterans throughout, I think, the states now.
Hmm.
If it was new to Arizona when I was a resident there. I'm no longer a resident of Arizona. I live in Florida now. But
Okay.
at the time, it's called Healing of Memories, and it was started out by Father Michael Lapsley or he's originally, I think, from New Zealand, but he got transferred to South Africa, and he was in a situation where his hand was blown off someone's through the mail sent him, a bomb,
Oh my God.
and one of his eyes was blown off. So he started a ministry to help those that were hurting because of the war. And then at that time, when I was a civilian, a veteran, uh, the program was introduced. Flyers were sent out to vet centers and VA hospital, to mental health professionals, to invite us veterans, because it was a new program for veterans. And so I participated in that, and I got to share my story, and I was introduced to new things to help me help my spirit heal. I've also participated in another retreat. It's called Walking with St. Francis
Mm.
retreat out in Arizona and Scottsdale. There's a big church out there. And they also have a wonderful veterans ministry. And that was the story. They told us a story about St. Francis, how he was a POW also. And then he became a priest, and he started the Franciscan order.
Mm.
And I also got invited to go to Italy do to participate in the pilgrimage that he went through when he was alive, and that
Wow.
helped me out a lot with my spiritual life. It did help heal a lot of scars, and I did have some wonderful spiritual experiences when
Mm.
I was out there in Italy. We got to go to Rome and other locations where he the path that he walked.
Hmm.
And I also participated in another veteran journey, which is called Operation Freedom Bird. It's
Yeah.
also located in Arizona, but they might have others in other states where
Hmm.
they take you during the week of I think this is for war veterans also. They take you to Washington, D.C., and you get to go see the Vietnam War, the wall, and World War II cemetery. And they also take you to the Pentagon, and you get to see the memorial of the 9/11 there. That's another wonderful experience. And when I was there at night, we have talks, and we discuss, about our military experiences and our wounds.
Hmm.
And I shared my military sexual trauma. And there was two other women besides me in the group. There was a young lady who she started crying, and she said she was never going to share her story, but because she heard mine, she shared hers. And there was a lot of tears and tissue being passed around.
Yeah.
There was a healing that took place with men there, that Vietnam, especially Vietnam veterans that got to share their story for the first time. So it was a wonderful experience, and I'm glad that we have these now out there. So I recommend that you research and look for programs that are out there. That are free to veterans.
Yeah.
And right now I'm getting ready to do some equine therapy also through a Wounded Warrior Project.
Oh, nice.
Take
Yeah.
advantage of everything that's out there for you
That's right.
veterans.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm a huge fan of outdoor recreation, anything to keep your mind active and to connect with other veterans. And there's so many great retreats out there. And I'll definitely look into it to more of them. I love participating in these retreats. And so there's a great one. The one that I just came back from was with the Pink Berets out of San Antonio and the
Mhm.
Oscar Mike Foundation. And
Oh,
it was fantastic. I definitely recommend any veteran, but specifically for women veterans with stories like yours, to really look into the Pink Berets as well, because a lot of the ladies there very similar experiences, and they found it so healing to be able to share. And it seems like it's just the more I hear these stories, the more I realize sharing these stories is such a huge component to that healing journey. And I saw that you have published a few books. That is so amazing that you have done that. Was that part of your journey of healing?
yes, it was. It was towards the end when I had been through everything. I had been through a lot, and there were some other things that I didn't talk about that I went through.
Sure.
But in my books, I was able to, express myself and talk about my story. And the first book is From Baja to Baghdad and Back to the Barracks. That's my military experience. I did change some names and some locations where I served, just, because, to protect myself and then protect the others, other
Right.
people. But and it takes a brigade 22 minus one on that one. That's more about my experience through PTSD and MST and what I went through, what I experienced, my flashback episodes in public.
Mm.
Um, and I spoke about, admitted myself to the psychiatric ward several times because of, suicidal attempts and severe flashbacks when my mind was back in Iraq and I couldn't come back, type of thing. And so I was able to write all about all that, and hopefully it helps others. That's the main reason I love to write,
Yeah.
and I want to help others. That's the reason I did that. And it also helps. It helped throughout my healing process too. Just find something that you love to do, that you're passionate about.
Right.
um, I also even danced, because dancing and listening to music, it helps your mind. It
Right.
opens up your artistic side if you have one. So I recommend that too. If you're in the arts, try to find something you're passionate about. Whatever it is that you like, I recommend that you do it because that will help out with healing also.
So beautiful. So that is just it touches me to hear you say all these great things that people can do to heal their soul and their spirit, everything that makes the person who they are. So what message or takeaway would you want somebody to have of your story?
Yes, I just want to end it with something that you things that you just mentioned right now. I want everybody to know that you have a physical body. You know, it goes through stuff and you get illnesses. And it has a life, but one day it's going to expire, and the VA, they mostly want to focus on, your body and your mind. They want to fill you up with medications that are going to either make you more depressed or make you sleepy. But then we also have a spirit and a soul, and they both have a life also.
Mhm.
And they also need to be treated too. You need, just like you feed your body, food for nutrients, and you exercise, to stay in shape and to be healthy. Well, I recommend that you look into healing your spirit and your soul, because we all have those three components: a body, spirit, and a soul. And I don't know if any of you are religious or not. I'm not trying to throw any religion on anybody, but if you've read the Holy Bible, the Bible is full of scriptures where God heals our spirit and our soul. And I just recommend that if you've been through what I've been through, if you're not ready to talk about it, that's fine, in your own time, in your own terms. But I just want you to find some place. This is what I looked for healing places. I looked for places where I felt safe and where I can be vulnerable. And because when you're in a place, safe place, and you're vulnerable, that will help you to heal. So just be mindful of that, because there might be some, unfortunately, there might be some groups out there, or some people that are not going to make you feel safe.
Mhm.
So that's my main thing, is for you to feel safe and comfortable and vulnerable.
Absolutely. Those are huge components to sharing stories, is knowing that you are in a safe location with safe people, and that vulnerability is able to come through without any judgment whatsoever, just being able to share and to release that. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Maria, for sharing your story. And how can we connect with you? Do you have social media, or how can we purchase your books?
Yes, my books are available on Amazon, mostly, but if you Google my name, I don't know if it's showing on there on the screen, but my name is Maria and my last name is Gastelum, Gastelum, and or if you Google my name, you'll find my books too,
Okay.
and they're available also online at Walmart. Barnes and Nobles, to name a few. And also my email is, I'll just, if it's okay, I can give you my email
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
It's MLUZGASTELUM14 And I also have a Twitter account, Instagram,
Mhm.
and Facebook. And my Facebook name is Maria Gastelum Barrera, I believe. I have two. My mom's maiden name also is included. And that's how you can contact me. And yeah, you can find my books on Amazon.
Excellent. All right. Well, we will post those links for people to be able to connect with you. So we appreciate you again. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Maria.
Thank you, Lindsay, and I appreciate, your
You're
garnish. And so thank you for doing what you do. So I'm
Thank you. Thank you.
pleasure to meet you. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.